you almost ruined a good Friday morning hunt for me. I was sitting in a tree stand Friday morning, and let me say, a lot of folks were thinking Clemson, and I was there for a while.
Yeah, I was as well.
And about, I would say, maybe a day, 24 hours before this is when started getting some word that maybe Auburn was in it more than I
Yeah,
thought.
right.
When did you know it was going to be Auburn? And that's a big deal. Walker, a quarterback, picking Auburn over Clemson is a big deal for Auburn fans.
Yeah.
When did you know?
The day I visited Clemson. So it's kind of a cool story. So I visited Auburn, and then I went on to visit Baylor and Arkansas, and then Clemson after that. I was going to visit Alabama, but that ended up not working out. But at the end of the day, like, I went to Clemson, and it was a great visit. I had a lot of fun, and really, like, Clemson couldn't have done anything better. Like, I had a great time. My family loved it. But at the end of the day, my heart was on Auburn, and my brain was kind of scattered because I was thinking a lot. I had so much running through my head, and so I really didn't know what to think. And so I went out of my hotel room with my parents, and I went down at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I went down to the lobby and just started to journal because I journal. And so I was just trying to gather my thoughts. And then I get a call from my brother at like 1:30 a.m. And my brother Zach, and he was kind of just helping me guide my thoughts in a sense. He was just asking me like what I think, and why I think certain things. But at the end of the day, like, Zach was the reason like I got my mindset on Auburn that night, because like he helped me guide my thoughts and what I like, what my heart was truly wanting. And at the end of the day, to not care what anyone else will think about it, because there would be a lot of people that would be upset if I didn't go to Auburn. There'd be a lot of people upset if I didn't go to Clemson. So there was just a lot going on in my mind. But my heart was just really set on Auburn after that one visit, and all it took was one visit. And when I was at Auburn, it was cloudy and rainy, and it was still a great visit. It was awesome. And so when I knew that it was Auburn, my mind and my heart was just at total peace, which is something I had prayed for over and over. I was like, I was just talking to the Lord, like, at the end of the day, like, I want peace with my decision. Wherever you're leading me, like, that's where I want to go. And Auburn felt like that was the place. And so I followed that. And now I'm at 100% peace. And just the other day when I left Friday, my brother, who was there with me, and one of my role models and my youth group leaders, Tanner, they both got in the car and turned to me and said, Walker, you couldn't have picked a better place.
Wow.
So, Walker, obviously that first visit to Auburn was huge, and you're talking about this last visit you just took. I want to know, though, you're in a different role now when you go there. You're a commit, but you're also somebody that's trying to get others to join you there. Well, I want to know, what did it look like to you to watch Hugh Freeze, to watch Philip Montgomery, to watch all those guys recruit the guys that are trying to decide on a school?
Yeah, so it was cool because first, like, there was a bunch of alumni there, and so that was there was like a lot of energy, and just it was a lot of fun in that indoor because it was raining. So they had practiced in the indoor, and there was some huge recruits like Daniel Calhoun, Jamison Riggs, Malachi Tolliver, Khalil, Chance Robinson, like all those guys were there. And I take this, like, most people, I mean, I wouldn't say most, but there's a lot of recruits that are committed, and they'll go to the school whenever they graduate. But I kind of wanted to take this time and use that, like, from my position as a quarterback, to then go and kind of just create relationships and try to get some guys around you, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the players around you. Yeah, coaching is huge, but I mean, you're going to need some really good athletes and some great guys around you. And so for me, like, how you do that is by creating relationships and letting people get to know you and kind of just share like who you are with them. And but for the second part of your question, getting to watch Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery was so cool because on my first visit, I got to watch them like collaborate and like still, because they were fairly new to each other, and so still are. But on my first visit, I got to, when we were talking ball, I got to see them collaborate together and kind of see both of their minds work at the same time, and which was really cool. And so getting to see that put together was really cool. And kind of just see the intensity and the upbeatness of the practice was really cool. It fired me up just watching, because like picturing myself like doing this like all the time, just I love it so much. But it was really cool. Coach Freeze would come up to me like during certain parts of the practice while the quarterbacks were doing some drill, and he would be like, okay, so you see we're doing this and we're keying on the safety. Like he would just start teaching me, which was really cool. And I think, it was just a really cool experience, and we would work really well together.
Walker, what was your connection to Auburn? Like Auburn wasn't in the picture for you in November.
Mm-hmm.
Like that wasn't even an option for you, right?
Correct.
What was the connection there? Was it Coach Montgomery? Was it Hugh Freeze? Did you have previous relationships with anybody? And where did Auburn come from for you?
Yeah. So like you said, November, there was not even a mention of Auburn. I didn't even think about Auburn. The only reason I ever like had a thought about Auburn is because of one of my youth group leaders. They are diehard Auburn fans, and they were so mad because like I didn't have a scholarship to Auburn or whatever. They weren't paying attention to me, whatever. And so it was just funny, kind of like always screwing with them about Auburn. But you're right, like there was nothing there. And somewhere around November, Coach Stone, actually, Jesse Stone, who's a senior analyst, works with the quarterbacks at Auburn. My quarterback coach at my school coached Coach Stone. He was the first quarterback for him to coach, right? And so from there, Coach Stone went on to be like a GA at Arkansas, and then he went to work at Georgia, and then he went to work with Dan Enos at Miami, and then Liberty, and he's been to so many places. And so when Coach Stone, I guess, heard that their staff might get the Auburn job, he texted my quarterback coach and was like, make sure like Walker doesn't do anything, because like we might get the Auburn job. We don't know yet. And so from there, my mind was like, okay, well, I've heard all these things about Coach Freeze. Like that would be really cool if he got the Auburn job. And when he did get the Auburn job, that was like Auburn automatically piqued my interest. And then one morning when I woke up, I had a tweet sent to me from my dad. And it was a tweet saying that Coach Montgomery had just been hired as the offensive coordinator. Well, my second offer was Tulsa, and I got the offer at a mega camp at Oklahoma. So Coach Montgomery and Coach Trahan offered me there, and they loved me, and I loved them. Like I had seen them multiple times the next summer or that same summer. I went on a visit to Tulsa. Like I love them. I love that they're great Christian people, great morals, smart guys. Obviously, Coach Montgomery was the offensive coordinator for RG3, so that's pretty cool. But when I saw that tweet that he was hired as the OC, my dad had a little, like he always likes to be sarcastic, but he always has told me not to burn any bridges with any coaches, because you never know where they will end up. And so he sent me that tweet and said, see, I told you, never burn any bridges. So that was really cool. And I can't remember if it was like the next day or like 2 days from that, or if it was the same day. I really can't remember. But I got a call from Coach Montgomery saying, hey, you're my first 24 call. I want to offer you a scholarship to be our quarterback. Coach Freeze loves you. Everyone up here loves you. We need to get you on a visit in January. And then it just went from there.
Wow.
Sir.